What's up, YouTube? Jeff back again, and today, yes, it's that time. It's iPhone season, and I wasn't quite sure what kind of content I should make. You know, we do Samsung on this channel, but it's always good to know what the competition is doing. So I ran a little poll over on my Twitter the other night, and I was thinking, you know, people might want to see some great iPhone hate videos, some iPhone slander. But it turns out 72% of people that voted in the poll wanted to see an unbiased comparison video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unbox this device. And I'm actually going to try to use the iPhone 14 Pro Max as my main phone for the next 7 days. I don't know that I'll actually make it through the next 7 days, but I'm going to try my very best and give you guys an unbiased overview. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be some videos in there where I talk about how great the Galaxy S22 Ultra is compared to the 14 Pro Max. That'll probably happen because that's just my opinion. But I am going to try to use this device for a full week and tell you guys what I think about it. Starting with the unboxing today. Well, I mean, people call them unboxings, but what is there really in the box these days? I mean, this is the box. There's absolutely nothing inside the box, really. This and a USB-C to Lightning cable, which actually is worth mentioning because it's the first thing that I don't like about the phone right out of the box. I don't like the Lightning port, right? Why isn't this USB-C to USB-C? So Apple needs to fix that. That's really annoying. I think even the Apple fans can, you know, agree. Not having USB-C is kind of stupid. I mean, every other Apple product has USB-C, so it doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't have USB-C. So I already set this up, obviously, yesterday. I've been using it a little bit. And I just woke up this morning, so it's my it's my first full day using it. So I'll count this as my first day of the week using it. Let's talk about some of the features that are new and things like that. And then I'll also talk a little bit about comparing to my S22 Ultra, although I'm going to save that for some future videos. So of course, the one new thing about the iPhone 14 Pro Max is the display, the always-on display. And so far, I actually got an iPhone 14 Pro, the smaller one as well. And I actually used that yesterday for a larger percentage of the time because the iPhone 14 Pro just, you know, I like the smaller phone because I already carry a big Samsung phone. And the always-on display, in my opinion, drained the battery quite a bit when it comes to the iPhone 14 Pro. I'm not as worried about it with the iPhone 14 Pro Max because it has a much bigger battery. It's always had better battery life. But this dim idea of the wallpaper where you still see the full wallpaper and you've got the widgets, that tends to be something that could be of concern. Now, the other thing I find myself doing a lot with this always-on display, because it's so easy to activate it compared to the Samsung one, is you've got your torch little shortcut down here in the camera. If I hold it like this, sometimes my hand will activate and I'll turn on my flashlight, which is annoying. And I feel like I activate the front screen quite a bit, which I feel like probably drains battery even more because it's showing so much information. So even though this is, of course, going down to 1 hertz, and that's the big sell on the new display, it still turns on more pixels than if you have the always-on display on your Samsung device, because the always-on display on your Samsung device goes completely dark, right? And it only illuminates like the information that's on there in a white way. Of course, you can add like a small picture, which I actually have on my S22 Ultra. You can see the difference right there. But for the most part, you're not seeing your full color. Most of the screen is black. I think the jury's out on how much I like this. I don't think it's as revolutionary as maybe in the beginning. I actually thought it was really great and that I would love it. But I don't know that I care as much because when I'm looking at the always-on display, I really only care about the time and my notifications. And unfortunately, the notifications on Apple still aren't the best. Let me actually turn off my Do Not Disturb. I have that on because it was nighttime here. They still come up at the bottom here, so where your notifications are at on your always-on display. So when you're talking about the notifications, you still got to swipe up here from the home screen to see those. They don't. I wish they just had the little icons there, right? That would be nice if they just had the little icons like the Samsung device would. But you see, you still get like the full banner notifications. Now you guys can see because I just got one in. And then of course, once you swipe this, swipe this down, it goes like this. It still minimizes there, which I do like. So Apple has improved the notification system, but it's still not as good as Samsung. The little icons at the top would be better. I kind of don't like the notifications at the bottom as much as I thought I would. I thought I would like that idea from Apple better, but I still just like the way Samsung does it, which you guys can see right there. Okay, so that's it about the always on display. Let's talk about the other big feature that I can talk about right out of the box, and that's the dynamic island. Of course, when it's locked, right, you can see the lock icon up there in the dynamic island. The only other thing that I really notice it a lot with is Face ID. You guys can see right here, if I do my Face ID, right, it shows the unlock icon. And if you do Face ID for the first time in an app, then it kind of animates outward and shows it to you. Now, if you're listening to music, right, let me see if I can find, I should have done this earlier, but I didn't really think about it. So non-copyrighted songs, let me play something really quick from Spotify. So if you're playing music in your favorite music app and you go back, then you get the album art and you also get like the now playing animation, which is pretty cool. And you can either tap it to go back to the app, or you can long press it to get the music album information and all that stuff. If you're taking a call, then it also kind of lives up there as well. I mean, and I think this is cool, but honestly, because on the Samsung devices and on Android, I can just swipe down anywhere on the screen. Like I can swipe down here to get my shade to come down, and then right there I'll have my music controls. In terms of convenience, it's really not like revolutionary. It's a cool animation, and I think a lot of people who like Apple really care about that. Animations are great, but I don't know that it really changes my usability. I don't notice the dynamic island that much when I'm just navigating around. Like when I'm just in an app, especially if you have dark mode on, right? Unless it animates, you're not going to notice it. So I don't really notice it that much. I think it looks better than the notch, but I'm still not sure that I think it looks better than the more minimal punch hole camera we have from Samsung. Now, of course, there are some other new features on this phone. Of course, the camera system has been much improved. Really, the only difference, I wish I had my iPhone 13 Pro Max from last year, but the only difference between those two phones in terms of appearance is that the camera module is bigger and, of course, the dynamic island. I mean, there really isn't much else. You can also see your album art on the lock screen here. Which is kind of cool. And when it goes to always on display, it does show you that. That's kind of nice. You get the full thing on the front instead of just a little picture. But I mean, at the end of the day, the camera I'm going to need to test, obviously, take some photos and really do some more in-depth testing. I can't say much about that after a day. They do seem more over-sharpened, which some people have said, so we'll have to see how that looks. And then the battery life, I think, is going to be fine on this one, but I think the smaller one might be a problem. So if you're thinking about getting an iPhone, which hopefully you aren't, because, hey, I think you should get Samsung phones. I love Samsung, but I'm going to give this one a chance for a week. Who knows? Maybe they change my mind. I doubt it, but we'll see. Anyway, that's my initial unboxing, quote unquote, of this device and my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let me know if you think I'm going to survive a whole week without going back to my S22 Ultra. It was also very difficult to switch to my this phone as my main phone because I had to switch my physical SIM in my S22 Ultra to an eSIM. That was the biggest pain to do this. So I hope you guys know that I really am trying, because otherwise I wouldn't have went through that effort. And I'm going to have to switch it back to eSIM back to Android if I want to go back to the S22 Ultra, which I assume I will. So that was actually very difficult, having no physical SIM. That's very annoying. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'll make it a full week. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon, future videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.